How's it going, guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at the MEDICOM Toys Mafex Wolverine action figure. So I'm pretty sure this guy's been really highly anticipated, and I gotta say the outcome is pretty awesome. So before we take a look at the figure, I will set him off to the side. We can actually just take a look at his packaging. I'm not going to cut here because it's just right there. So here's the packaging. It's really similar to the Spider-Man packaging. If you have that figure, or the Venom, or Cyclops, or whatever. Got a nice picture of the figure. Wolverine, you can see all the different logos. Marvel, Mafex, Medicom. The 90s X-Men logo from like the TV show. Very cool. I absolutely love how they make this packaging piece look like a comic book. Really cool. 6-inch, Mafex, 096, whatever. Some more stuff on the top. If I can get this to focus all right here. Wolverine, X-Men. Pretty cool. You can turn to the side, you see some more images of Logan. His nice tiger stripe outfit. Mafex. Some more packaging art at the top. Very nice. And you can see image of the figure and all of his accessories, things he comes with. Or most of them anyways, doesn't show the stand. At the top. Or did I show you guys the top already? Yeah, I did. And then bottom here, ages 15 and up. So it is not a toy, it is a collectible. Choking hazard, other information in Japanese, I think. Otherwise, that is the packaging. Very nice. Pretty modest, actually. And that's about it. So let's take a look at the figure. Okay, so first, the figure comes with quite a few accessories. He comes with 3 different heads that are completely interchangeable. First off, we have the calm-looking Wolverine head. His mask, which is pretty nice. Usually we get Wolverine snarling at someone, looking pretty angry. So it's a very clean head sculpt. I don't see any paint smudging when looking at him. I'm trying to focus this here for you guys. Very nice, consistent colors, especially with the costume. Very nice head sculpt. Second head sculpt we get is Wolverine looking pretty freaking angry. That is also really clean looking. I do not see any paint smudging. Very nice. Then we get Logan here, and I absolutely love this head sculpt. Gorgeous, man. I love the hair and everything, and the blue within. Oh God, this might be my favorite head sculpt he comes with. I love this thing so much. And then he comes with the mask that kind of drapes down his back with the unmasked head. I'll show you how these heads fit on too. Obviously that head fits on pretty well, but I'll tilt this up for you guys, and we can focus this. And the head, the peg that it comes on is like bent here, as you can see, which I think allows for more motion, more range of motion. And the head pops on really easy, incredibly easy, and all the heads are exactly the same. They all pop on very easy, and just look very nice and in proportion with the body. So that's cool. Otherwise, he comes with a few more accessories here. Obviously, another thing I should show you too is that the hood that kind of drapes down his back for his mask actually sits pretty nice on his shoulders. It doesn't look awkward or anything. It looks really nice. That to me was pretty important. So otherwise, the other accessories he comes with are just hands. He comes with open hand here. All these hands have kind of a chrome, really kind of shiny look to them. I actually like how it looks a lot. And the sculpting that's done for these little ports where the claws come out of look pretty nice too here. Let's see. So those all look really clean. So he gets 2 of those hands, and then he gets a fisted hand. That's pretty nice. And I'll show you how these pop on here. Get my camera to focus again. I'm using a Nikon D3500 at the moment. So these claw hands too are actually really nice. I should show these to you guys too. However, the claws are a little bit on the long side. I feel personally, I would have rather had them a little bit shorter. They're incredibly long, but they look nice. They're very nice silver. The plastic feels a little bit flimsy, or they could break if you mess with them too much. Probably why it's 15 and up, honestly. Well, obviously that's for choking reasons, but the hand looks really nice, and these hands do pop on It's pretty easy. If I can get it on here for you guys, I'm just in an awkward position. There you go. It fits on like so. And like I said, it's all really nice. It's all in proportion. Looks good. Focus this for you. Very nice looking. So anyways, let's take a look at the actual figure. So for me, I gotta be honest, this is like the perfect Logan figure in my opinion. At least out of like relative to all the other Wolverines I have, I love this one. And that's my personal opinion. Now you may have a Wolverine you like way more, honestly, because the Legends Wolverine figures are pretty fun. They're really nicely proportioned. But this guy for me is just amazing, and I feel like he's worth the money. With that said, he's not perfect. There are issues with him, but relative to my other figures, he's the greatest Wolverine in my collection. So with that said, before we actually look at the figure and just talk about how great he is, let's talk about the issues he does have. So, for instance, when I first popped him out of the box, I wanted to pose his arms. I wanted to use these kind of butterfly joints here. And I noticed this just pops off. And I tried to put it back on, and then this just slid off. Now, this should not be happening. That is trash, bro. That really pisses me off. I want to be able to pose this guy, you know, naturally, easily, but it looks like it's just going to take a little extra toying around with and monkeying around with to get in the right poses because of issues like this where the arms fall off. So this guy is kind of flimsy in that sense where the pieces do kind of fall off. But if you're careful and you're aware, it won't happen as much anyways. Just be cautious, I guess. I didn't really have any problems with this arm at all. So maybe it's just something with this one arm, I guess. Otherwise, I didn't really have a ton of problems with the figures aside from his 1 foot being pretty dang loose, which makes him hard to stand up without his stand. Well, not hard, but I mean, he does stand, but like I said, it takes a little extra screwing around with. Otherwise, I've not really ran into any problems with this figure at all. Maybe the fact that his swivel above his abs doesn't really work too nicely, but maybe it just needs to be broken in a little bit. But aside from that, this guy doesn't really seem to have a lot of problems. To me, at least, anyways. I've ran into anything that's really, like, stood out to me. So, honestly, the pros this guy has, everything. God, he's proportioned really, really nicely, obviously. He has the right amount of bulk. He just looks like Wolverine, man. This is a really believable body shape for Wolverine. Obviously, the joints all kind of flow together really naturally when you pose him. Nothing looks really awkward. They're out of place, which is another thing that I loved about the Mafex Spider-Man, is these figures just kind of move naturally. They don't look awkward at all. The coloring is really, really nice in this guy. It's a very bright yellow. I prefer, like, personally, I kind of like the more mustardy look, you know, to a yellow, like a darker yellow, I guess. But this is would that even be considered a mustard yellow? Just like a darker yellow, maybe not, almost orangish. Yeah, kind of like the maybe mustard yellow is the wrong color. Kind of like the Age of Apocalypse, or not Age of Apocalypse, the Apocalypse Bath Wolverine from the Hasbro Bath, or even I guess this Wolverine here from the Apocalypse Bath that Toy Biz released. This guy, I liked his yellow color quite a bit. I don't know why, I just do. I really like that yellow. I prefer that over this, but I think this might be more comic book accurate, honestly, for what they were going for with that 90s X-Men cartoon vibe. I do like the blue stripes. I thought they were black, but I don't know if I've seen iterations of him with the blue. Right now I'm reading the Heart of Darkness. Isn't that what it's called? Hearts of Darkness with Wolverine, Punisher, and Ghost Rider. And I think his stripes in that comic are blue, if I'm not mistaken. But I could be wrong about that. I think it's called Hearts of Darkness. Unless I'm wrong, because I could be mixing that up with Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad. But I don't think I am, because I remember thinking to myself, like, okay, they kind of copied the name. Maybe not, but this is a really nice figure, all in all. All the paint looks really nice. Nice, clean X-Men sign here. The boots are nice. I really I didn't know what I was going to think of this, but it has a very chrome blue look. And honestly, something about it just looks really crisp, man. I actually kind of dig it. Gives it more of an armor vibe. But otherwise, I mean, as opposed to like just a flat blue, I like that a lot more. Actually, that looks pretty nice and goes nice with that bright yellow. I don't really see any shadowing throughout this figure. It looks kind of like they have like a blue wash on this hair, which looks really, really nice. I like that bluish color. But everything on this guy, for the most part, is really clean. The muscle definition is fantastic. The only issue I have is that arm, that one arm. Otherwise, everything is beautifully done. The hair on the arms looks straight from the comics. I love that. However, it's not like sculpted on, just kind of painted on. And I actually kind of like that more, to be completely honest. Hair wouldn't be that thick if it was like sculpted. Where other figures, I've seen some kind of sculpted hair on them, like the Hasbro figures. I'll grab one really quick and show you guys what I mean exactly. On like this first appearance Logan, I don't know if this is just like muscle definition or what the hell it's supposed to be, but it almost looks like they're trying to like sculpt hair on there, and it looks really freaking weird, dude. That was probably my only complaint with these figures, but kind of looks like they were trying to sculpt hair on or something. Not really a fan of that. This figure is also very similar. So, I mean, if you want a Marvel Legends comparison, there you go. They're about the same exact height if you're standing them up completely straight. Like, I think this guy might be a little bit taller, especially with this, the head sculpt. Yeah, it definitely looks like the Mafex one is taller. Here, I'll focus it for you guys. The Mafex one is definitely taller, as you can see. But he has a much nicer Logan head sculpt opposed to... What the hell, man? I gotta be honest, this shit looks terrible. Oh, I'm terrible for saying that, but it looks so bad. Well, especially when you compare it to the Mafex figure, like, oh, jeez. You can really see how funky this turned out with the weird lips and the eyes and the eyebrows and just the flat hair on top. What the hell, man? But you see what I'm talking about, that hair. I like that painted on hair. So, honestly, going on to the best part of this figure probably is, we'll talk about the articulation. I think this is probably why the Mafex figures get such high praise for the most part, even though they do have some really nice sculpts. Obviously, they're really clean. But the articulation with these Mafex figures is just phenomenal, dude. So, the head looks way down. Looks pretty far back with that mask on his neck. But if we pop this off and just put this head like that, it looks back really freaking far, dude. Really, really far. And then you can move forward. Now the head is actually like has articulation because of the peg within this neck joint, and then the neck actually moves separately, as you can see right there, if that makes any sense. This is moving within the neck and the head. So it's incredibly articulated in the head. Then there's, like I said, these kind of butterfly joints, which work pretty well. I'm gonna go forward. They really bring the arms forward, so you can get some cool Wolverine poses, man. You can see that goes really, really far forward. Very nice. The arms go up about that far. This kind of hinders the articulation a little bit, but these are also articulated. They just kind of hook to a joint in the back of the arm here. If I can get that to focus so you guys can see. Shoulder pads hooked to a joint in the back of the arm here, so they're articulated on a little ball joint. So you can go out like that, and up and down and stuff. So that's nice. Get this to focus again. So the arms go up about that far down. They can obviously go all the way around and crazy far back too, like so. They're obviously double jointed, and the joints are hidden really, really well. You don't see any pegs sticking out or anything, so that's nice. Double jointed, swivel, like I said. Swivel at the wrist is also on a little ball joint, so the wrist can go forward and back. And if you kind of tip it forward and move it, you can have the wrist, the hand go up like forward and then down like that. So that's pretty nice. Like I said, this joint here by the abs is pretty tight on my figure. It doesn't really want to work well, and I don't really want to freaking break him, so I'm not going to mess with it too much. It's very, very tight on my figure. However, there is a swivel at the waist here too, and a rotation. You can rotate it all the way around if you want to. I don't know why you would. But the belt is also like a really soft plastic, so it doesn't hinder the articulation at all. So that's really nice. Aside from that, the legs are like really articulated. You can kind of almost pull them out of the little leg ports here, as you can see. They're kind of like on a ball joint here. as you can see. Legs go forward, back pretty far. They go out decently far, not bad. They are, they kind of have like a rotation here. Oh, look at that. So that pops off, as you can see. So another piece comes off. That's annoying. But they do have a little bit of a rotation. Your legs might pop off though. So be wary of that. Like I said, they go forward, double jointed knees. I don't know if there's a rotation here. Not really a rotation at the calf, probably because of this boot just hindering that. But there is a rotation at the foot, obviously. There is an ankle pivot, like extreme, and then forward and back. And there is a hinge at the toes. So that's pretty nifty, dude. Very nice. So, all in all, this figure is really sweet. Now, one more thing I want to mention, because I think it's actually pretty sweet that the figure comes with this. It does come with like a little flight stand. And I mean, it's not like the greatest thing in the world, but it's a lot nicer than some stands you can find in stores like the, no offense to NECA, because they do make some nice figures, but I would not waste money on their stands because they don't work very well in my opinion. This stand is very, very nice. It works pretty freaking well for Wolverine. You can have him up in the air and he's not going to fall down at all. It's very tightly done. So very nice flight stand, fits pretty nice around his waist. Very clean. And there are 3 ports on the bottom of this stand, which is already dirty, gross. So you can unplug this here, just kind of twist it, fits in there really, really tight. And put it in a little port, like right there, as you can see. And each end has one, except for the front part of this thing. Have them on a different side, which I don't know why you do that really. I just put them on the back part, honestly. You can't really get him in poses going forward, per se, because this thing will lean forward. But you could lean it back and then have this go forward, and that works decent, I guess. But the stand works for the most part. It's pretty nice. I just use it to keep him standing. I just kind of wanted with him, so I can put him in like some kind of dynamic pose while he's displayed in my shelf. But aside from that, this figure is really, really clean. I will do some comparisons. So here's Wolverine next to 2 Marvel Legends, the 80th anniversary Captain America and the 80th anniversary first appearance Wolverine from the 2-pack. And honestly, he fits in way better than this guy. I think this guy's a little bit, when you put him next to this dude, you can see how out of place he looks and how quirky he looks. But I guess that's not really a fair comparison. So, I mean, if we use this Wolverine here from the Lover's Triangle 3-pack, you can see honestly, he does look quite a bit better, but this also fits in very well. But he does fit in with Marvel Legends for the most part. He's really close to the height of this Wolverine here. Honestly, this one is a little bit taller, and with his mask on, honestly, relative to like the other Wolverine with his mask on, he's probably quite a bit taller because his earpieces are a lot bigger, I think. Yeah, he's a lot taller when you put the ears on. But he still fits in pretty nicely. As you can see, Cap kind of towers him, so he fits in well. Now, for the final comparison I have to show you guys, I'm going to compare him to the Mafex Spider-Man, which, as you can see, I feel like the Mafex Spidey might not be tall enough. I feel like he should be a little bit taller, maybe. He's a little bit on the short side. I mean, Peter Parker isn't supposed to be like a huge dude, but I don't think he's supposed to be this short. Or maybe Logan is just way too tall. I mean, if we take the Pizza Spidey here and put him next to this Spider-Man, they're about the same height. So, honestly, maybe Logan should have been a little bit shorter, or maybe it's just because his ears are so damn big that it looks taller than he is. I guess if we're not taking into account the ears, he's probably the right height, to be honest. At first glance, he looks a little tall, but no, I think he's alright. His hair is just freaking huge, man. We'll kind of zoom this in here so you guys can get a nice view of the 3 of these boys standing together. It makes it a little bit darker so it's not so freaking bright here, and you can get some nice detail on Logan's face. but you can see that he's a little bit on the tall side, maybe just a little bit, but for the most part, I think he looks nice, and I think his hair actually makes him look bigger than he actually is. So with that said, he is in good scale. So at the end of the day, would I recommend purchasing the Mafex Wolverine figure? 100%. Yes, if you don't have this guy, I definitely think he is worth like the $100 you'll probably pay for him. He is an amazing figure. I don't really feel like he's going to break. However, he does kind of fall apart in certain places. Figures may vary. I just have a problem with the one arm, really, and I mean the leg's gonna come off. But if you can work around that, this guy he's just gorgeous for posing in toy photography, and he looks fantastic on the shelf. He fits in with the Marvel Legends if you want to do pictures. He is, in my opinion, the best Wolverine figure that I own, and I do own a lot of Wolverines. So, like I said, I do own quite a few Wolverine figures. I definitely have had my fair share of different sculpts and stuff. This is the only MEDICOM Wolverine I own, unfortunately. And I do own the X-Force Wolverine from, was it the Wendigo wave, I think? I don't think it was Caliban. I think it was Wendigo that he came with, but I could be wrong. I do own that one, but he's kind of an awkward place on my shelf. The only figure, and honestly this might be strange to some people, you know, this is just my opinion, the only figure I think that holds a candle to him is this Series 6 Wolverine. I absolutely freaking love this figure even to this day, dude. This thing's fucking sweet. Just something about this guy, man. Just dope as hell. I think he's really nice compared to these other Wolverines. I like him a lot more than these ones, which is an odd thing, honestly. But, I mean, this figure is incredible. I think he totally squashes these Legends Wolverines, even though they are a lot of fun to screw around with. And I mean, the only other pro like that the Legends Wolverine figures have is the fact probably that they're way more accessible. They're so much easier to buy, man. Unless you're like looking at the aftermarket, then prices will fucking skyrocket, which is stupid in my opinion. But what can you do, bro? So I mean, aside from like the only downfalls to this guy, I would say, here, sorry, I'm gonna move the camera. The only downfalls to this guy, which are pretty freaking obvious, are the fact that he is not easy to get. He will take probably a week and a half to get to you. That's what it took for me anyways, and I ordered from Amazon. It is the fact that he's not easy to get and the fact that he's expensive as hell, man. If you don't have money coming in that's just for screwing around with, I would not buy him. I would wait, because he probably won't change much in price. I could be wrong about that though. But he is a nice figure. He is better than the Marvel Legends figures. I don't really know how he compares to Mezco. Mezco is kind of a whole different thing themselves. I don't think they're really worthy of comparison. I think they're two very different figures, in my opinion. But if you are looking for the like essential Wolverine figure to have, as of now, it's this guy. Now, if they release a brown suit Wolverine with like samurai sword and some shit, I will freak out and I will definitely buy him and maybe cry a little bit. But this guy is absolutely amazing. I recommend buying him if you don't have him. But with that said, thank you for watching this review. I hope I gave you some useful tips about this guy and some insight into what you might be paying for. I hope you guys go out and buy this guy if you have the money, if you have the time to mess around with him. Otherwise, thanks for watching again. Keep watching, like, comment, let me know what you think of my review. Feel free to message me about any thoughts you have. Comment about the figure, and with that said, stay home, stay safe, stay happy, and keep collecting.